welcome back to my channel. Happy Bookmas Day 11. I can't believe Bookmas is already almost over. It's been crazy, but last month while I was reading my book club's book pick for the month, I had a fun idea to kind of bake something inspired by the book while giving you guys like a book review slash just chatting about the book together. So that book today is going to be The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. If you haven't read it, don't click off. I'm going to try my best not to do any spoilers for you guys so that you can still enjoy the little baking video we have going on. But we are going to be baking a lemon pie today, and I'm gonna go ahead and start. We'll get into more of the logistics as to why I'm baking a lemon pie, but for now we're just gonna start because we need our crust to cool off, and so we're on a bit of a time crunch, so let's just go ahead and get into it. So we need 1.5 cups of crushed graham crackers, so I'm not sure how much that is gonna be until we do it. So I'm just gonna throw a good amount in here. I really have no rhyme or reason to this. And then we're just gonna beat her down into a fine dust so that we can use it for the crust. Okay, I'm gonna do 2 sleeves because that looks like more than enough. And then get your weapon of choice and just beat it. Okay, and then we're gonna melt a full stick of butter or a half cup of butter down so that the little crusties can stick together. While we wait for that, I already have the oven preheating at 350. This is kind of what you want your graham cracker crumbs to look like super just, you know, super pulverized in there. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, now I'm gonna actually go ahead and measure out our crushed graham cracker. We need 1.5 cups. I feel like there's probably an easier way to do this, but whatever. There's 1, and then there's 1.5. Perfect. And then you're gonna add that straight into your butter. And then you're also gonna do 1/4 cup of granulated sugar in that. Oh my. Making a mess. That's way too much. And then you can kind of see it like starting to like clump together. Okay, so today we're making a lemon pie. I'll also have the link of this exact recipe that I'm using today down below if you would care to make it. We're making a lemon pie today because obviously our main character's name is Lemon, but also because the whole thing in the book that keeps being repeated is that love isn't like these grand gestures. Love is just like sharing a lemon pie. Our male main character is also an aspiring chef, and when we first meet him, one of the first dishes he makes, lemon or clementine, is a lemon pie, and it's amazing. And then we also see a lemon pie kind of when we first meet our main character, our male main character, 7 years into the future, I guess is what you could call it. So throughout the book, we're seeing this infamous lemon pie, and by the end, it's one of his staples on his menu at his new restaurant because it's one of his grandpa's famous recipes, as well as something that he shared with Clementine back in the past. I keep saying past because if you don't know, this book is basically a magical realism romance. And we have this apartment that was left to Clementine by her aunt in the heart of New York, and sometimes when she re-enters it, she's actually transported back 7 years into the past. So that is where we meet our male main character. His name is Iwan. And then as soon as she leaves the apartment, she's transported back into her real life, her future, or her present life, and she can only go back into the apartment, like back past 7 years, if they're at a crossroads, if there's something that her and Iwan to kind of have settled. And she remembers her aunt telling her that her apartment was magical, but she never believed her until now. And so the whole story, we're kind of following Clementine and Iwin as they kind of navigate this like weird thing that's going on between them in this apartment. Of course, when we're reading about it, present day Iwin in our eyes does not know about the apartment. But as you go along, as they start to connect in the present, you kind of get more flashbacks and stuff like that. And like I said, I don't want to go into spoilers, so I feel like I'm just gonna leave it at that for the summary part of it. I'm actually done with my crust. So after you've combined them all, you're gonna go ahead and pat them down into a 9-inch pie crust, and make sure you're going up along the sides of the whatever dish you're using so that you have an actual crust for the filling to sit in. And then you're gonna make sure you press it down really good. If you have a little bit of clumps like I do, just make sure you're pressing it really good. And then you're gonna go ahead and throw this into the fridge or the freezer, whatever, to cool for a while. You really want this to be cool because you don't want the like filling seeping through. So make sure it's cool. And then while you're letting that cool, we can go ahead and do the filling. Has been baked and she is in the freezer cooling down. We're gonna start on the filling. I went ahead and juiced the lemons off camera because it takes a little bit of time, but you're gonna need half a cup of lemon juice if you're following along. We're gonna go ahead and separate some eggs. I have this fun little dandy thing. I'm hoping this works. Now we're just gonna go ahead and do it manually, but we're gonna try this first because it'll be a little bit easier. These until they are light and fluffy, and then we'll continue adding on some stuff. Overall, I thought the book was cute. For me, at first when I finished reading it, I thought maybe magical realism romance just wasn't for me, but then I was starting to think about how I've read Love of My Afterlife, and I really liked Love of My Afterlife, and obviously in that one she meets an afterlife counselor that sends her back down to living, so obviously that's also magical realism. So I don't know what didn't hit the mark with me on this one, but anyways, I'm not quite sure. I still think that the book was really cute and I think people should read it. Like, I definitely recommend it, but for me going into it, I thought it was going to be like a new 5-star read for me, just based off of all of the reviews and all of the hype that it has on TikTok. But for me, it wasn't a 5-star read. I gave it 3.5 stars, so definitely still worth the read, definitely still great. But something about it, I think there are a lot of plot holes, and I didn't like the way the magical realism was done in this one, so it just kind of wasn't for me. I do think it was cute. Our male main character was perfect. Even the female main character was a good main character. She just kind of kept getting on my nerves throughout the novel. Okay, now that you've whisked your egg whites, you're gonna pour in 1 can or 14 ounces of sweetened condensed milk, but you're gonna do it slowly while whisking. Next, you're gonna go ahead and add in half a cup of lemon juice. And whisk that in. One problem that I had with the book that also the girls that I read the book with in my book club had was that there was a plot in it that we wish we would have seen more of. Specifically, without going into spoiler territory, we wanted to know more about the aunt. We kind of felt like our main character had like this huge desire to be just like her aunt, but then when we got the backstory of her aunt and how she died, we kind of just felt like it kind of fell flat there, because we have this character who really looks up to her aunt and wants to be like her and aspires to live her life by these rules that she's told her. But then we didn't get much of the aunt's backstory and like how she died and what she left behind. So that was just one thing that I kind of didn't like about the book. I thought the aunt was really cool, honestly, even a little bit cooler than Clementine at times, and I would have liked to like know more about her. Alrighty, and then you're just gonna add a little bit of lemon zest. Alrighty, lastly, we're just gonna add in 1/4 cup of heavy cream. And again, again, just whisk that real nice. So once your crust has completely cooled, you can go ahead and throw this in your pie dish, back into the oven at 350 for 15 to 20 minutes. You don't want to overdo it, but you don't want to underdo it, so just keep a good eye on it, and you should be good. Once you're done with that, you're gonna let it cool for 4 hours in the fridge, and then I'll meet you back here. Chill. It's obviously been a while, so the lighting has definitely changed for you guys, but the pie is done. She has been chilling for a couple of hours. We've ate dinner, I've changed, so now we're ready for some dessert. So the last step is optional, but I think that it'll make it better. So we're gonna be making some whipped topping to like spread on top of it. So if you want to do this, it's a cup of heavy whipping cream, 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar, and then just a splash of vanilla, and you're gonna whisk that until it's whipped cream. I feel like I was kind of dogging on the book earlier. I want everyone to know that I totally recommend this book. I think it's a great book. Like I said, I gave it 3.5 stars, but thinking back earlier to what I was saying about the book, I still think it's a really great book. I think it touched on some really great themes, but it's also just so funny, like a rom-com should be, while touching on those themes. I really liked how it talked about finding yourself out of the person that you think you want to be like, as well as it talks about change a lot. I mean, obviously we're going from 7 years in the past to 7 years in the future, and so the author touches on change a lot, which in a very great way. So I didn't want anyone to think that I'm dogging on the book. I really do enjoy it. I was actually going to read you guys the quote that inspired this little baking episode. So he says, "It all comes full circles," he replied, the edges of his mouth twisting up in a smile. "Universal truths in butter, secrets folded into the dough, poetry in the spices, romance in a chocolate, love in a lemon pie." And so throughout the book, we kind of just watch him navigate his like cooking styles and the way he tries to connect people on a deeper level through food. Alrighty, so this is what you want it to look like not runny, stiff peaks. Looks pretty good. Let me go ahead and grab our pie. Alrighty, here she is in all her glory. I can't believe that the crust held up, to be honest. Start doing this step, you're just gonna go ahead and put it on there and spread it out. Alrighty, here she is. We're gonna go ahead and cut into her and give her a try. I'm hoping that this crust like holds. I think I just gotta commit.
There we go.
There we go. Ah! That's not pretty.
I'm not quite sure.
Shut up, fucking Amazon, you bitch.
Her name's Alexa.
Whatever her name is. Alrighty, as you saw, I kind of dropped it a little bit, but here she is. I'm not a big lemon person, so let's go ahead. That's pretty good. Like I said, I'm not a huge lemon person, so I have my boyfriend here who really likes lemon stuff, and we're gonna get his reaction. Oh, pretty good! Good?
Good.
It's all from scratch.
It's like a lemon meringue pie.
Yeah. That's not bad. I think that was a success. Wow, that's actually really good for lemon. Alrighty guys, that was me making a lemon pie for The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston. Like I said earlier, I definitely think you should give this one a read. I really enjoyed it. And if you want to, this pie is really yummy as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and leave the link down below if you'd like to make this. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you back here tomorrow for the last day of Bookmas. Hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next one. Bye.